from Ritz. Around themselves a big kill. But here's the timing you were mentioning earlier. They're going to be gone between these two.
Morph's even going to link it, so you run into him, you're not even getting that last orb easily. He's the one who may pop this smoke. Astro Spirit going out, looking around, perhaps feeling like EDC are coming this way, and oh, Dandy, one here you do not want to have get caught out.
That would be the big catch. I saw Aoi there playing around with the hook shot. Maybe see if they can find it on the side. They'll get the easy. They find the jump onto Lil. More down as well. They move on to Gale to time. DC get the pick off. Not quite the core they would have dreamed for, but nonetheless, taking off an Elder Titan at this stage will allow them to put their own pressure onto Na'Vi's tier 2 on the bottom lane.
Nice move from DC. It still took them a long time, and that kind of a loss is very palatable for Na'Vi. I look at it and you're like, okay, they got just that 4th position, Morphling still farming. Now timing is around the hero play. That's where they get strong and very. It's also just late game. Morphling, the longer this game goes, the more untouchable he becomes. So Na'Vi is not feeling the pressure at all. They just keep you hours. So by all means, that is still progression for DC, but it doesn't feel like enough. They need to keep on doing, finding more better fights and the pickup.
As you can see on the pace of the game, the cause of Na'Vi just continuing to get further and further ahead. It is 6 low action game in terms. Managed to build up.
BKB rush on Ritz Gyrocopter feels like a must-buy item. It's always tough when you got to go this fast BKB when you're behind. Often when you're ahead, you're like, oh, I'll get a fast BKB because we're team fighting and constantly killing them, and this BKB allows me to do that. But when you're doing it as a gyro that's behind, you're like, I'm going to farm very slowly, my item progression is going to suck. That's kind of the reality for Ritsu here, and there's not much he can do about it. He has to get this BKB to stay alive and to fight, which is what a Gyrocopter pick is designed to do.
Bottom lane, Na'Vi looking for the setup. They have the epicenter back online for General level 12 as well. The Blink can force a lot of maneuverability to get himself in prime position to burst down a core. They'll look for a support instead though. Aoi comes to wandering into the jungle. They'll bring him down low and they've got it. The final touch there. General with the Sandstorm gets the kill, and at the same time Dendi shoving in that bottom lane means that Na'Vi continue to claim yet another tier 1 tower, and Dendi also putting some pressure onto the tier 2.
They're setting up top to defend as well. DC may not expect this. Na'Vi have moved incredibly fast to get up here.
Let's see. Look at the gap close here for General. Comes through the link, the force gets close to Ritsu, goes to the Sandstorm, but there's the lasso immediately. They have the Earth Spinner coming out. He's going to catch out the back of Ritsu. He's turning things around. Look at him with the flak hits and the homing missile. Is it enough to finish off the kill? It's not. General will survive. DC still secretly getting pickups. Brile did doppelganger forward aggressively, but they've got to get back to the base. Bottom lane, Na'Vi finished off the tier 2. They're starting to knock on the doors of the tier 3 tower. So Na'Vi, they don't get a kill with that defense, but they do hold on to the tower. They are continuing to just have a better grip at this game than DC are.
Yeah, that was slightly misexecuted. It was a good play from Richie to back off just in time with coming. If he gets caught in that boat, he will certainly get. So Na'Vi making the right call to keep up with a couple of heroes. They're pressuring bottom while they go for the top. They're just able to do so much more on that than DC. Kind of focus all their efforts around one place. Na'Vi able to split their attention.
LeBron finds Stanking. Stanking will reveal that there's a sentry ward down as he turns with a quick punch. Howard coming in, looking for the angle on the hook shot. We'll find it. Back of a moon, LeBron looking to be in a whole world of trouble as Brile turns up for the action. And they will claim the life for the bait. But again, it's these supports that they're being able to kill. Then these SF crystallizes more thing. They're barely having a look in at any of the action from DC as they're just continuing to farm with no sort of interruption from Digital Chaos.
DC seem to just be accepting their fate that this game is going late. Really, they're at a disadvantage because they're against the ET, one of the best scaling 4 positions. They're against the Morphling. Then is well up the network chart, but they'll have a chance in the late game. By no means do they just auto lose if this game drags out. They've just got to outplay and out execute better fights, have the vision that allows them to get the jump in these fights with the background lasso shot. If they can get good initiations, they can win team fights.
Na'Vi running gravitate around the Roshan pit, but at least a little bit risky to try for it at this sort of time. BKB complete for Ritsu.
Climb.
DC want to do? They can finally team fight now, and often Na'Vi is not going as wide as much. Crystallized farming on the lane while the other Na'Vi members are grouped up. If that remains the case, it does look like Na'Vi converging around the Roshan pit, which means the Morphling will be there. So perhaps the fight DC is not hoping for. They want that fight.
They're actually going to start into the Roshan and heading away with it. DC with the high ground, coming in on the side of it, Moon jumps in with so onto the base, crashes to the side, and punches to Ritsu and stacking. Once again, they'll take down LeBron. The rest of Na'Vi backing up, Moon looking for the chance to chase down. We'll go for one sticky onto Lil. Lil, a little too speedy though, will be able to keep his distance. DC unable to get sort of a catch on anything further than that Bane. But Na'Vi, they're more than happy to throw away LeBron on the front as it does sort of tank the rotation from DC.
Yeah. That similar story where Port kill who dies and there's no DC, like if they get that kill, you have to back off the kind of wounded and yeah, great kill happens to Bane, but you kill a Bane, smoked up, you use your BKB on Gyro, but you're still just not really progressing if you're in DC too, so you're still hoping for more next time you make a big play move like that. Ultimately, DC again, still in this game, still have ways into this through their team fight initiative. Very challenging.
Setting up behind Ritsu, sort of hoping to use him. It's a bit of a bait. Na'Vi not looking to bite it. Bryle does now have the Manta style complete, so that extra bit of survivability for Bryle in the midst of these team fights could be what they require. But as you say, I think at this stage, DC more than content to just try and farm up these major items on these two cores. It's a hard bit on Bryle. It's still obviously a long way away. Once it's there, a chance for Bryle to get in on the front line of these fights and not have to worry too much about being bursted down by B.
I'll take your tribute.
I'm happy to be playing this slow-paced game, but the more playing you're feeling good, and you've seen Crystallize, happy to take it late, do very well as far as being able to play this kind of 1v5s Morphling, and he's not 1v5, he's got Dandy. Dandy's out farming everyone, so the SF has plenty of potential to scale here. 3.5k net gold currently, so Dandy's going to have another new item soon on Shadow Fiend and make DC's life very difficult.
I mean, you can see it as well, DC, as soon as Dendy shows in a lane, the full 5-man of DC sort of swarms towards him.
Yep. He's the hero you can theoretically kill and get in the lane, you're like, well, that's their Morphling, I mean, can't stop that. You see Dendy and you're like, ooh, let's get this. He's actually killed. Dendy even goes for Lincoln's of a defensive item, it's the I can't be killed type of item, so not an item you feel like you're going to get strong by, but an item that you feel like may just be the safest to win you the game. Alternatively, you start thinking, let's get damage. Yeah, like Butterfly, Satanic, Daedalus, Tiger.
Towards the Ancients, continues to farm both sides.
Avoid that. I like that we picked up this gem. We need to limit Na'Vi's vision at this stage, and it's always very safe to get him with a Bat Rider. It's unfortunately barely skimmed past the Observer Ward.
These sort of passive moments still very much feeling like the calm before the storm.
Passive games where you're playing around in the Roshan pit too. In DC's case, you're playing to stop Na'Vi getting it. Na'Vi get find and force the Roshan with that outside. Comes Ethereal Blade to realize has the money.
Continuing to keep some info as he moves the spirit about. DC just constantly standing behind each of their cores, making sure that Ritsu and Bryle can continue to feel safe going out in the lanes. Safety is certainly going to be short-lived though, if Crystallis gets on top of them with that heavy nuke damage.
DC is having this drop where they can constantly scout out Roshan. Even though it's hard to move out on the Na'Vi and get boards down, they do have waves. Some vision, Bat Riders constantly like pushing waves as well, with naturally by Shadow they can have a lot more hell and info on the map. And they did find Na'Vi's ward in the bottom lane. Very limited Na'Vi vision. Similarly, Na'Vi have the Astral Strip. That's their cool for getting as much.
Seeing if we can get a chance onto mid lane, but it's ever so risky. Going on the Morphling is always such a hard call to make.
very tense game. 7 kills piece, 26 minutes
It's got to
in.
be one of the lowest kills we've seen, I think, in the whole tournament at this stage.
I think you look at the kills, like how many real kills have we seen? Like it feels like they've had maybe 2. Like they killed the ET and got the bottom tier 2. They killed Dandy once. Like LeBron dying on the day. 4 deaths have all been pretty meaningless as far as the overall play of the game for Navi. The gyro click one, that was a big kill. They yet to touch Bryle. No big team fight, and both teams kind of just avoiding each other as much as possible to play for the lane. And PLPD, he's catching up, he's overtaken more, he's actually narrowing in on the SF in terms of net worth, so...
Yeah, Bryle doing an excellent job of just finding the opportunities to farm, as you say, with the 0 deaths, not getting caught at all. That heart that I talked about a little earlier, he's getting pretty close to it. 400 gold to go, and it will be there. So this pace of the game, you sort of expect that the heart will be there before the next team fight kicks off.
I think the question is always, by the panel, I think a lot of what's happened is, how do you do with playing?
I mean, gods, what do you think about this? Lil, he's queuing up Dagon on the island. He's got it. Dagon ET, Archer Force, I don't think I've ever seen that, gods, at least not in a pro game.
Okay. Playing it to one-shot the PL. First,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very one-dimensional on this side on first damage, and he's staying...
There's an E-Blade on the team.
Yeah, E-Blade is going to be amped up even more. It gets amped up by his aura. If you stun a hero who has BKB, you want to somehow burst them before they get that BKB off, and Dagon helps out a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not sure I agree with the pickup, with all that said.
It seems a bit risky.
I feel like there's other items he could go on, even like those late game refreshers on SP always seem insane. He does get the cooldown at level 55, which is where refreshers. About this one?
I mean, but as you say, if it ends up being that extra little bit to get someone killed underneath the cover of the E-Blade, then it instantly moves on. If you're able to take one of those cores out of the fight, as you mentioned, before they can pop a BKB, massive item pickup. There's a lot of ifs and buts, when we may see sort of fights him unable to sort of get the opportunity to do so.
Typically, you think support. You're thinking, what's the item I can get to help out my Lindsay, Lotus, or the Force stuff? Those the AI like the sword.
Ah, look at this though. Na'Vi finally finding the opportunity to really get a pit.
DC noticed the rockets there. They also have the bottom lane pushed out. Yeah, they know
heading
exactly
over.
where Navi are.
Na'Vi back off.
And they've got Roche quite low. The problem is no one can TP bottom. If you TP bottom, you're giving up Roche. Luckily for Navi, the lane should be able to push itself. This is where it can be really key. Like RPL can push hard, right grab bottom, and then travel in. Something you've got to wait for DC to take Roche.
Incredibly tense moment of the game. I lost count of the minutes to have without any kills made. You can see that last bit of action. I mean, it was only sort of a couple of LeBron deaths instead of actual real kills. It's been 10 minutes.
Here we go. They're going to run another near mid.
Firefly on the side does have the arcane room ready to play with, but we could see so hard for him to make that jump. He knows that there's more than likely going to be an instant reaction from an E-Blade, a Nightmare, or a Fiend Script, making it very hard for him to get these jumps, but he's going to try. Jumps in, but there's the reaction. General comes with the Burrow Strike, moves contact to side the E-Blade, buzzing down on the earth, where they get through. They hold towards Bryle. There's the grab, the Fiend Script, but they get stuck with the hooker. Anyone who finds themselves up and it's not enough. Bryle will fall. Navi, the Taker 3 is a triple kill for Lil. The body kicking off. Owie getting bursted low as well. Crystallized. Black waveform back up in seconds. Victory will get onto the high. Back to safety. But Owie, gets caught out by the Burrow Strike, the E-Blade as well. DC lose 4. And Na'Vi, LeBron, we'll take it again. Another death for the... More than happy for that if you are Na'Vi at this stage of the game, because that will open you up the chance to... Back with the chance of DC getting in for a look in.
And then lost to a pretty big swing, that extra kind of 300 gold swing. Na'Vi with an agent, that is the fight, you know. It's been building up. We've had 30 minutes of Dota without a team fight, but one big fight was kind of what we were looking at to decide the outcome of the game. DC needed that good vacation, but the instant flick Burrow Strike General has been such a big player for Na'Vi this time again, and it was there. Didn't even get the 4-star. He blinked, he tried to turn to use his after the last one to use his 4-star to pull away, but he didn't even get that off. Great fast reactions. The Lily Crystallize was actually cast on Dendi, which stopped some of the follow-up spells. Very well done. I think it even just stopped the Spirit Lance, but even a bit of damage there means Dendi is a lot healthier when he gets that BKB off. Bottom line, Dendi.
There we go. Oh, now hook shot leads to the BKB. He needs catch that outside. There's the Fiend Strip, the new damage. Lil leveled up now. Dagon. You know, if you go Dagon, you commit, and Lil is level 2 at the moment. He's going to keep level 5 at this stage because it's paying off. He got a triple blood. Now he's just getting all the kills secured. He's looking to pad up those stats, and I don't think his team's going to be mad. This Elder Titan, pretty damn scary.
Because Na'Vi didn't really have damage issues, but hey, now they definitely don't with the Dagon. It's DC who have damage issues. We saw in the mid lane, you lasso this Shadow Fiend, even if the barrier isn't there, I don't really like to have a bit burst damage at all. The Gyrocopter, BKB, Lincoln's Drum, no, this guy's not doing damage. Your PL kind of does damage. He's got Diffuse on Manta into a kind of scratch. None of the kill. And that's where the Morphling is a huge problem. I think the one nice bit of damage to the Morphling is like Maledict, but BKB on both Morphling and SF, Maledict is reliable damage. So
General with the Yule setup, Boros trying to go, they're going to have to sleep, and Epi holding him down. Is it enough move? Can't get himself out of here. General finds the setup for yet another kill for Na'Vi. Na'Vi, 33 minutes in, leading 30-8, and with a 10k gold lead. Bottom lane, Ritsu forced to pop the BKB.
Bad bears for him. It's one of those things where DC's just being forced to go ultra defensive with their items, their play, and they're not playing to win. They're playing just to stall the game out. It feels like they're staying in it. They've put the
easy farm for Crystallize. He's got the flag. Doesn't even need to use a away from that. So 2017 more. In 2018 now. It's all about that pyro spells. New mid Na'Vi. They have the full pop man set up. DC 10 seconds without moving. They're so careful about coming anywhere close to this tower. Trial, considering sort of the pace game that Na'Vi are playing, he's still playing very, very strong in terms of his farm. He's up there. They're comparable positions for both Crystallize and Dendi.
Yep.
Very close time. The real question is how much of an impact does he have in these fights?
He needs every item he can get. He's not farmed enough. That's the crazy thing. As much as he is kind of on par, he needs Butterfly. He needs his level 25, I think, is the big thing. That crit built in is going to give him at least a bit more damage to fight into the Shadow Fiend, the Morphling. He needs to fight Butterfly as well. So the evasion on Dendi makes him a lot stinkier, and Brawl does not have a good to pierce through that yet.
Lil, up again. Down to the level 3, Dagon.
Happy camper.
Oh, DC.
Close to Dendi, but we've seen how much they broke him. And Dendi with the Linkets, I don't know how you actually start by Batrider against this point. Very challenging position. They don't have a... They've got okay... Theoretically, they could break the Linkets to get a lasso, but it's going to take them a lot of tools to do so. And then at that point, have you got the damage to follow it up? Not really.
Here we go, Na'Vi. Once again, looking to smoke. They know that Lil, he's got that Dagon up to level 3. Time to put it to good work. Na'Vi hunt for a catch. DC, I realize there's many members of Na'Vi off the map. Into the high, making sure not out by these sort of smoke rotations.
And that gem loss, you can kind of see here how much it hurts DC, because two very deep aggressive wards lay directly outside DC's base. It's kind of how you get further ahead. When you're in a situation and your opponent is trailing in their base, you put wards right outside their base and you starve them out. DC had a gem, it's a lot more difficult to do that because DC were able to de-ward these. You put
back to this sort of passive stages that we've seen for the large priority of it. We are seeing favor Na'Vi if they continue to get further and further again. And wow, I mean, I'm not surprised. Only 5 ETs have purchased a Dagon since TI5. Not surprised that yeah, Lil would be one to join them. Definitely one of the bit of an innovator in terms of hero picks, and this time in terms of item builds.
Radiant's tower is under attack.
Tier 1 elimination, that is a big reason why these teams are playing so cautiously. Na'Vi with their lead, it even feels like they could be shoving these lanes a bit more, keeping DC more under pressure and trying to, you know, more actively try to fight picks. But I think Na'Vi themselves are feeling like their lineup is just in them the lane. Let's just, you know, play it passively than we perhaps need because of what's at stake here. They're a team that's, you know, barely in the top 8 of TPC. They really want to get some points here in Indonesia.
Absolutely stepping it up big time on the lane stage here. Ritsu continuing to make his way towards that butterfly.
Big real difference. You go past the cores who are, you know, for DC, the PL's kind of close. The Gyro, he's a bit further, but, you know, supports are really struggling on the DC side. And the off-laner, you've got a 4-position Lil who has more fun than this position. Batrider, Sand King has got 12k net worth. It's a very sad state for the 3 DC players who are not farming.
An interesting decision here from Brown. Goes for the Nullifier after the heart for that extra bit of lockdown and control. If they could get on top of the Morph or of course that SF, but it is going to be hard with the Lincolns in play. As long as you can pop it and get it off, it could result in a kill.
Got the Fusel Spirit Lance, has to break it.
Yeah.
And if you see a PL running at you, you're not going to just instantly pop your BKB. So theoretically, if he runs it like an SF and Blade breaks his Lincoln, then instantly Nullifier, he could go for that kill. The big thing with Nullifier is the synergy it has with silencers. He's got the Orchid queued up. The silence plus Nullifier, effectively that hero has no escape. You can't use your BKB, you can't use your spells, you're done for. That's where you can kill anyone on the map theoretically if they don't have an A on disc. A on disc is like the one item you can get where it's like, oh, you don't actually die to this combo. We'll see. Such high uptime that it's very hard to fight.
Yeah, I mean, we're yet to see DC able to really swing it back around at all this game, as Na'Vi have maintained control of the advantage in the entirety of 40 minutes so far.
We'll be seeing the big level 25s coming in play this game, playing halfway to his level 25, and Shadow Fiend just hitting level 24 as well. Shadow Fiend, the big one, Wolf playing, you know, it's okay. I'm not sure which one you'll get. I think the waveform charges have been a bit off. I don't think either of those is really a big game changer. The PLs though, that's the one on the DC side they really look to bring a big lane talent.
Ritsu, well, edging as well. He did say earlier have the butterfly queued up, but his mind went the other one instead. I guess he just wanted an extra bit of snap survivability now at this stage, but it's going to mean that damage output is still going to be lacking for C.
Not sure about SMY, but I also don't know what is the item. I mean, the butterfly is just really damaged. It's stun survive. Butterfly and SMY to me are very similar. They're just like kind of these hybrid items where it's stun damage, survivability, a bit of everything. Movement speed, they both give. And I think that's what Ritsu feels like. This game's gonna be carried by the PL, so he can just go for like very stable, stay alive type item pickup. Fast. Max movement speed. But he's not going for that all in. I feel like a lot of players, and not a lot of players, I feel like one player particularly, Envy, comes to mind, who in his shoes would have gone much bigger. He would have been like, I'm getting a Rapier. It is a pretty desperate position that DC are in. They're maybe getting to the point soon where they're going to have to go.
I think they might have to. Certainly hope we do get to see some Rapier action here on the main stage. Always exciting to see in these best of ones, and as you mentioned, you can absolutely feel that both teams. I don't think they play like this in a best of three. This is super safe play from both sides with this best of one, everything on the line, and tournament hopes here at GESC.
play like this, it was a bracket game as well.
Move, well, funny evening, this will be back from Maui, they've got the control, onto Lil, will get forced down as the cops there, the rest of them goes forward with the Phoenix Grip as well, they hold Aoi down, couple of raises will finish him, they get blocked, Ritsu with the PB head straight towards Crystallize, but Crystallize no B, BKB, man's up, wait for 40, punching it to Ritsu, then falls down, catches straight away the burrow strike, Ritsu falling low, he's alive now, Black Blow, gonna die, Crystallize gets it, quickly with the flag there, tag from that long range, connects onto Ritsu. Brian tries to fight a different time, but General's back in with the first strike to zap from Lil. They've claimed more again. General with that buyback, securing that crucial kill on the second floor. Now Na'Vi, they're up to the high ground, pushing onto the base. Ritsu and Brian do have buyback available. But this middle fraction going to be in a world of trouble as Na'Vi claim the territory, claim the melee and range racks as DC look unable to do anything to stop his onslaught.
What's going on here? They're lost. I don't think they can afford to give up multiple lane racks. You're going to have to buy back. You may as well do it too.
Get in, and now we will. Straight away with the shot. Crystallize those taps himself out. Looks towards the win. Comes the Bucky Load. Ending with the BKB. The rope career. Turns towards Stand King. Crystallize before the win. So the General with the SP. Straight on top of Brawl. Brawl on the wall. It's a dieback on the PL. Ritsu towards as well as Crystallize and Dendy look for the chase down. Forcing DC back to the back. Moon to the jump on Dendy. PG is called, ladies and gentlemen. Na'Vi hold on to their tournament dreams here at GESC Jakarta. Sam, not
such. Na'Vi feels like had the edge from start to finish, but it really took a lot of composure to still